What other type of habits and practices? I mean, obviously, the level of awareness and breath, root everything in that, right? Bring everything into that first and foremost. Once you can create the awareness and catch yourself, what's kind of the next habit that can really help to serve to start to layer, right? What's the thing to continue to build and continue to grow, that's going to serve us to perform at that elite level that we're all wanting to strive to be at.
Yeah, I think there's a level of, visualization that can be brought in regardless of what you do, whether that's in sales, if it's in an athletic sports or sales or owning a business. I think just creating a visualization for practice for yourself, because we know we're going to have, especially if you're in like a sales role, you're going to have sales calls, you're going to interact with people that potentially want to buy something, whether that's a house, a car, insurance, whatsoever. And get yourself into 5 minutes. It doesn't require a lot. 5 minutes of just kind of seeing how that call is going to go based on the previous calls that you've had in the past, or the previous situations that you've found yourself in. And the more you tune into the visualization, because the mind and the body doesn't know the difference between a mental rep and a physical rep. So the more you do it in your mind visually, you're then creating a level of comfort and confidence for whenever that future situation presents itself. Again, that was something that I tapped into a lot in regards to hockey. Not at the beginning of my career, unfortunately, but more towards the end. Again, sure. After my divorce is when I started opening myself up to all this stuff, So visualization, I think, is going to be very powerful. I know exercise is always going to be another thing that I just think when it comes to your life, the better you feel about yourself, the outside world's going to begin to match that in time. It's not going to be instant. It's not going to be that instant gratification that everybody wants it to be. So exercise, and I mean, it doesn't require a lot either. 30 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day, however much time you have. And I think all too often people are always saying, "Oh, I'm too tired to exercise." Well, you're so tired because you don't exercise.
Exactly.
So, and then, I know we kind of touched on it a little bit as well, but the first 20 to 30 minutes, this could be another part of the base in regards to being more present and being more in control of your thinking. But the first 20 to 30 minutes after waking up is when your subconscious mind is the most aware. So within those first 20 minutes, if you can go through some positive self-talk to start your day, you're then reprogramming your mind to automatically produce those thoughts throughout the rest of your day. Because in those first 20 minutes, the brain waves that we are experiencing very slow are exactly how they were in the first 7 years of our lives when we were absorbing everybody else's voices spoken to us, which in turn became our internal voice, the inner voice. So the more you get into this practice of within the first 20 minutes after waking up, don't get on your phone, don't do none of that stuff. Just tap into some positive I am statements. I am an incredible person. I am a successful salesperson. I am whatever you fill in the blank. Just make sure that whatever you put, it's what you believe to be true of yourself, of whatever thing you do. If that's sales, if that's owning a business, if that's being an athlete, whatever the case is, and just repeat those over and over and over and over again for 5 minutes. And in time, what's your mind going to do? Your mind's going to begin to memorize that. Remember it so that you no longer need to look at it on the sheet of paper. You've programmed it into your mind. It's no different than studying for an exam. You're studying with the intent to retain information. So you have to study many days in a row so that come test time, it's right there with you. I know that answer, that's C. Boom, the next one's D, just based on your studying, So yeah.
That's so good, right? It's like it's the reprogramming, the reset of every day, and being able to, create the conditions and set yourself up for the most amount of success and starting that morning. But you're spot on, right? I mean, so many just reach for the device, right? That's the first go-to. And it's hard. And a lot of people are just not disciplined enough, like if even utilizing the phone as an alarm to hit it off, but don't touch it again. It's super hard to do that. So if you know that that's an issue, they do make a thing called an alarm that you can plug in and set on your nightstand that doesn't have to be your phone. And being able to tap back into to have that. How do you kind of work through that overcoming that negative vision, that negative talk that we have. And is it doing the things in the morning, starting to put the vocabulary in? Because you said it right from jump. Who do I have to become in order for me to be able to achieve the things that I want to achieve? Right. So like you want it. I mean, if you had this skill set early on, then you would have been like, okay, who do I have to be to play in the NHL at the highest level? Right. To win that. So who do I have to become? I mean, that's really the question that we have to keep asking ourselves is, if I want to achieve X, what type of person achieves X? Who do I have to become? Is that kind of the starting point to be able to think about?
Yeah. I think it's kind of two layered there, because what you're asking brings up something that I had mentioned before we started the podcast here today, is that, when it comes to being who we want to be, I think we already are that person to a certain degree. We have to unlearn a lot of things that were taught to us growing up. We took on so much from our closest caretakers, so much from our parents and their level of belief in themselves. And if we were, at one point as a young kid trying to go and do whatever, reach a goal, make a team, get into a prep school or a boarding school or anything of that nature. And if our parents experienced a lot of distress in their life and didn't reach their goals, they might have said to us, oh, that's not realistic. You'll never be able to achieve that. And if that was said to you at such a young age, that is ingrained in your mind that I can't go and get the thing that I want.
Especially somebody that you admire and look up to, that's giving you, that you're taking their word as truth.
Exactly. And so their story of them wound up becoming your story of you, but that's not yours to carry. So there is a way to go back and relive those experiences and in a sense, reparent yourself, speak to yourself in the most healthiest conscious way, become your parents and speak to yourself. And you do that over and over and over again until that story begins to dissipate, sheds itself. It's gone. It's no longer something that you're carrying emotionally. And then through that, you're going to be far more present in achieving and going towards whatever it is that you want to do. And so I bring that up because I know that that's so deeply rooted within so many people. When you think about it, from the moment we could walk, we were told no, don't go here, don't go there, don't climb on this, don't touch this. It was just constant no. And as a result of that, so many people, A, don't know who they are, and B, are so afraid to go and reach for a goal, because we've just been constantly shut down, not because our parents didn't love us. Of course they did, and they cared about us, and they didn't want us to climb on the things. I'm not trying to say that to make our parents seem bad. It's not the case whatsoever. What our parents was unaware of how they spoke to us and how that was going to reflect in our teenage life and our adult life, So I think that's one part of it. And then what was the original question?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's the, who do I have to become, right, in order for me to achieve the goal? And it's, I don't think that question is early on, right? That's one of the questions you got to get some foundation built. You got to get the breathing. You got to start, the bigger future. You got to start, like you said, addressing some of these, unwiring some untruth that we have. But at some point, that question has got to, enter into kind of our thinking of, who in the hell do I need to be in order for me to achieve X, Y, and Z?
Yeah, I think so much of that too is just understanding that when we're trying to achieve such big things, it's very rarely going to happen in the short term. It is more of a long-term thing. Again, when I reflect on myself, my dream, my vision was to get to the NHL. Well, I had that at the age of 12. It took me 9 years to achieve that goal. Obviously there was a process. I couldn't just go at the age of 12 to the NHL, obviously, So I would say for so many people, it's understanding, okay, let's just get clear on exactly what it is that you want. How do you view success? What does that, external success look like to you? And then I think it's about backtracking from there. Okay, what do I got to do every year? What do I got to do every month? What do I got to do every week and every day? And I think so much of the battle is just staying consistent with the day-to-day monotony and the consistency that is required to continue showing up to get you through the week, to get you through the month, to get you through the year until you achieve whatever it is. But again, I want people to understand that just because you have these goals in mind and this vision and you've got this relentless attack on life, it does not mean that you're going to get the thing, you know, but you might get, if you're, so for me, the dream was the NHL, right? I might have only made it to the AHL and only got to play for the Monsters, but that is still something to celebrate. And that is still something to be proud of. And there will be too many people around us that say, oh, you didn't reach your goals, you're not a success. Yes, I am. You bet your ass I am, because I showed up every single day, and the path to getting there was not a linear. It's not straight. There's going to be setbacks. There's going to be detours. There's going to be days off. There's going to be times where I take weeks off, months off, because I need to rest as well. And that's valuable. Rest is a weapon, you know? So again, I think so many people just need to, again, get clear on exactly what that thing is, and then understand it's just a day-to-day process. What do I got to do today that's going to bring me 0.1% closer or 1% closer to reaching that goal? What am I going to do today that's going to help me to build momentum towards the big dream? Because I think ultimately that's what we need. We need momentum. So if that's a to-do list, okay, 2-3 things. Don't make your to-do list the 10 checks on the sheet of paper. That's too much, right? That's too many things. And what's happening unconsciously there is that you're setting your mind up to perceive this daily task as too much. It's too stressful. Oh, okay, that's fine. Well, then when you only do 5, it's not about the fact that you did the 5. It's about how you feel about not doing the other 5, which is either going to inspire you to go and attack the next day, or it's going to deflate you, and now you don't even want to show up the next day. So it's about having, realistic day-to-day goals, and at times upping that up a little bit to see what you can get out of yourself, see how you can push yourself a little bit closer to that.